The title of my speech is One of Those Days, and I'm going to tell you about last Thursday. As some of you may know, I work in America once a year for two reasons. One, I like to visit new places, and two, I like to find out what's going to happen in my profession in 5 years' time. Because like a lot of you, your business is primarily started in America and it feeds in the rest of the world. So, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, let me tell you about where I went. I went to a place called Indianapolis. Has anybody heard of it?
Yes.
Has anybody been there?
No.
No, well, if you have. I think it's probably pronounced India No Place because there's nothing to do there except watch the Indy 500, and I wasn't there when the race was on. But I did meet some interesting people. Last Thursday, the first person I met was Sugar Ray Leonard. Has anybody heard of him?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's he famous for?
Boxer.
Boxing. He's probably one of the most famous boxers ever because he's the first boxer to ever win world titles at 5 separate weights. So, why am I telling you about this? He inspired me, so hopefully some of the reflections that I can give you what he told me will inspire you too. Sugar Ray also won the Olympic gold medal at light middleweight, which forms nicely with this theme. And he was not the favourite at all. The Cuban was the favourite. And he said that he already decided he was going to win before the event took place. And because of that, that's what gave me inspiration to finish what I wanted to do that day. He also won at 5 different levels, and he also retired before he won his 5th world title. And he came back from retirement and he fought Roberto Durant. Anybody remember him? No, okay. And that's what won him the 5th world title. But when he was asked why are you coming back, is it because you want the glory, the 5th title, whatever? And he said, no, it's for the $12 million they were going to pay me. So, one thing that has inspired you is money, but that wasn't the thing that inspired him most. What he said was he did the preparation. Every day, 5-mile run, every morning, 5 AM, 7 days a week. And he knew because he did the preparation, in the later rounds, when Durant was going to get tired, that's when he would win. And he won in the 13th round because it was 15 rounds in those days, not 12 as it is now. He thinks they're all a bit weak and gay, but you know, who am I going to argue with him? So that gave me a lot of inspiration to put the preparation in, never give up, never give in. Another person I met that day was somebody called Ed Tate, who should be known to some of you.
Yes,
Ed Tate.
World champion?
Correct, he's a world champion Toastmaster in 2005. And strangely enough, in a bit of homage to his winning speech, something similar happened to me that day as well. But before I tell you that, one thing Ed taught me was preparation again. Preparation gives you inspiration, because if you're properly prepared to speak about something, or whatever you're trying to do, you'll enjoy it more. And that will give you inspiration to try more things and to try them again and again. And one of the things that Ed reminded me about was the greatest Olympian of them all. Does anybody know who that is? Sir Stephen Redgrave of England. Now he's won 5 gold medals at rowing at 5 consecutive Olympic Games. That's why he's been voted the greatest Olympian of them all. And previous to the last gold medal, he discovered he was a diabetic, but that didn't stop him. And again, what was his key? Preparation. He knew that he was going to win before the event took place. And this is what he did. He would start his 4 years training, because the Olympic Games every 4 years. What do you think he did on his first day? Do you think he studied something in the gym, maybe a run, maybe some rowing on the rowing machine, or actually rowing in the water? No. His first day of preparation was his trainer got him to stand on a box and put a gold medal around his neck. Doing it the other way around. In other words, you've already decided you've won the gold, and then you do everything for the previous, whatever it is, 1,200 days that you need to get up to that. So what do you do the day before you win the gold medal? You win your race, okay? So we'll go and race. And he did it backwards. But the one thing that inspired me to prepare more fully was the fact that he did something that he knew his competitors didn't do. Now I know we're all from different religions here, but in the Christian religion, which is mine, our biggest celebration of the year is Christmas Day. And so Steve Redgrave was practicing training rowing on Christmas Day every year, whereas all the rest of his competitors, they were having Christmas dinner with their family and friends. So that's what set him apart. Preparation, inspiration. He was inspired to win the gold medal, and he prepared properly, and he knew because he'd done the preparation, he was going to win. So what else can I tell you about Indian Oak Place? Somebody did tell me that in one of the neighbouring states, and Joseph might like this, you've all heard of CSI Miami and CSI New York, yeah? Do you know why they don't have CSI Alabama? Because all their DNA is the same. As I was leaving America on the Thursday, I got to the airport, checked in, and like a lot of Midwestern places, a big storm hit. Thunder, lightning, airport was closed. I thought, oh dear, I'm going to be delayed. Problem was, I had a 1-hour connection at Atlanta to get to Dubai, and my plane was delayed for 2 hours. I thought, oh, I'm going to be stuck in Atlanta overnight. So I went to the ticket desk and said to the nice lady there, is there a chance of rerouting me via Frankfurt, Paris or London or wherever once I get to Atlanta? And she said, excuse me sir, I'm serving this other gentleman. I said, I'm sorry, I didn't notice him. And he was a big bloke. Now I'm not that small, but he was big. And he was standing next to his girlfriend. And he was just being very rude to her. He was shouting and saying, my plane's delayed, it's all your fault, you've got to put me on another plane, I've got to be where I've got to be, I've got to be in Atlanta in such and such time. So I stood there and listened to him rant and rave, and the lady just said, I'm sorry, there's no spaces left on the plane. You'll have to go tomorrow. Anyway, he went off. So I thought I'd try a different tactic. What would inspire her to get me on that plane? Because I knew they always keep a couple of seats, you know, jump seats ready. And I said, look, I'm terribly sorry for this rude person, but is there any chance of getting on that plane? So she tapped her fingers on the keyboards and she says, there are 2 seats left. And I said, great, can I take one of those? And she said, yep, you can. Fantastic. I'm rerouted so I can make my trip back to Dubai, because I didn't want to spend an extra day in Atlanta, especially as that plane was full, so I'd have to spend 2 days. So I thought, I've got some time to kill, go to the cafeteria, get something to eat. And there's the big guy with his girlfriend. And I thought, shall I say something to him or shall I say nothing? Really, it was none of my business. But I thought, I've inspired this lady, let's see if I can inspire something in myself. So I went over to him and said, I'd just like a word with you. I was standing behind you in the queue, but you were very rude to this lady. It's not her fault, she's not in charge of the weather, she's not in charge of the planes, and you just ranted and raved about her. So I don't think that was right. And I think what you should do is treat people with respect and be fair to them. And there was a pause, and I thought, well, I'm not small, here's the big guy, there's going to be a fight here. But before I could say anything, his girlfriend punched him on the arm and said, yeah, you should be fair, you're never fair with anybody. I thought, oh, okay. And he went away. Went back to the lounge, sat there, then there's boarding, and as I was boarding the plane, this guy called me over. He said, can I see your ticket, sir? And I said, yes. And I thought, oh no, they're going to take my ticket away, they've actually bumped me and put somebody else on. So I gave the ticket to the guy, and he said, I'd like to thank you very much for what you did in the cafeteria. And I said, why? He says, well, the lady who was serving you, who gave you this ticket, actually was taking a break at the same time and heard you admonishing that big bloke. And so we'd like to thank you. And I said, look, why have you taken my ticket? And he said, well, we'd like to upgrade you to first class. So I said, thanks very much. And that's what inspiration does for you. I'd like to leave you with this one thought. Does anybody recognise this? This is an American penny. Now, I don't know if you've ever seen one of these. You can pass it around if you like. But on one side it says, in God we trust. Now, I don't care who your God is, but in God we trust. And there's 2 types of people. People walk down the street like this, make their necks look thinner, not as fat as me. And there are other people who look down. I'm a looking down person, because I like to find money. And when I find American pennies, it's a little sign from God saying to me, don't worry about stuff, be inspirational, I'm going to drop these pennies in your path, and I'm going to lead you where you need